Hello, and welcome back to another video from the YouTube channel, From Religion to Agnostic. In the Bible, Meshech, or Mosech, Hebrew, price or precious, is named as a son of Japheth in Genesis 10:2 and 1 Chronicles 1:5. Another Meshech is named as a son of Shem in 1 Chronicles 1:17, corresponding to the form Mash in Genesis 10. Meshech is named with Tubal and Rosh, in certain translations, as principalities of Gog, prince of Magog, in Ezekiel 38:2 and 39:1, and is considered a Japhetic tribe, identified by Flavius Josephus with the Cappadocian, Mosechini, Mushki, also associated with Phrygians or Bryges, and their capital Mazaca. In Hippolytus of Rome's Chronicle, 234 AD, the Illyrians were identified as Meshech's offspring. In addition, Georgians have traditions that they, and other Caucasus people such as Armenians, share descent from Meshech, Georgian, Meskheti, Tubal, and Togarma. In 1498 Agno de Viterbo published fragments known as Pseudo-Berosus, now considered a forgery, claiming that Babylonian records had shown a son of Japheth called Samothess had begun settling what later became Gaul in the 13th year of Nimrod. Later historians such as Raphael Holinshed, 1577, identified Samothess as Meshech, and asserted that he first ruled also in Britain. Beginning from the 16th century, some European scholars proposed the idea that the Muscovites had stemmed from Meshech. Sir Walter Raleigh, c. 1616, attributes this opinion to Philip Melanchthon, 1497 to 1560, and to Benito Arias Montano, 1571, and it was also followed later by Jonathan Edwards, 1703 to 1758. Moreover, according to a legend first appearing in the Kievan Synopsis, 1674, Moscow, Moskva, was founded by King Mosok son of Japheth, i.e. Meshech, and was named for him and his wife, Kva. In this legend, they are also said to have had a son, Yat, and daughter, Vyuza, who gave their names to the nearby Yaza River. According to Archibald Sayce, Meshech can be identified with Muska, a name appearing in Assyrian inscriptions, and generally believed to refer to the Mushki. Most reference books since Flavius Josephus generally identify Meshech in Ezekiel's time as an area in modern Turkey. Okay, and so they mention in the first paragraph, and I quote, "and is considered a Japhetic tribe." So since that is all the information I could find on Meshech, and we are following the line of Japheth, that it's only right to look at the Japhetic tribe. Japhetite, in adjective form Japhethitic or Japhetic, in Abrahamic religions is an obsolete historical biblical terminology for race coined in 18th century ethnology and linguistics for the peoples supposedly descended from Japheth, one of the three sons of Noah in the Bible. The other two sons of Noah, Shem and Ham, are the eponymous ancestors of the Semites and the Hamites, respectively. In medieval ethnography, the world was believed to have been divided into three large-scale racial groupings, corresponding to the three classical continents: the Semitic peoples of Asia, the Hamitic peoples of Africa, and the Japhetic peoples of Europe. The term has been used in modern times as a designation in physical anthropology, ethnography, and comparative linguistics. In anthropology, it was used in a racial sense for white people, the Caucasian race. In linguistics, it was used as a term for the Indo-European languages. These uses are now mostly obsolete. In a linguistic sense, only the Semitic peoples form a well-defined family. The Indo-European group is no longer known as Japhetite, and the Hamitic group is now recognized as paraphyletic within the Afro-Asiatic family. Among Muslim historians, Japheth is usually regarded as the ancestor of the Gog and Magog tribes, and, at times, of the Turks, Hazars, and Slavs. It is written in the book of Genesis, the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Rephath, and Togarma. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentile divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. Genesis 10:2-5. In the Hebrew Bible, Japheth is ascribed 7 sons and 7 named grandsons. Sons: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tiras. And grandsons: Ashkenaz, Rephath, Togarma, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, Dodanim. Tiras. The intended ethnic identity of these descendants of Japheth is not certain, however, over history. They have been identified by biblical scholars with various historical nations who were deemed to be descendants of Japheth and his sons. A practice dating back at least to the classical encounters of Jew with Hellene. For example, the Roman Jewish historian Josephus states in the Antiquities of the Jews, I.6.122, Whiston, that Japhet, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited so, that, beginning at the mountains Taurus and Amanus, they proceeded along Asia, as far as the river Tanis, Don, and along Europe to Cadiz, and settling themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none had inhabited before, they called the nations by their own names. Josephus detailed the nations supposed to have descended from the 7 sons of Japheth. In anthropology, the term Caucasian as a racial label for Europeans derives in part from the assumption that the tribe of Japheth developed its distinctive racial characteristics in the Caucasus area, having migrated there from Mount Ararat before populating Europe. In the same vein, Georgian nationalist histories associated Japheth's sons with certain ancient tribes of the Caucasus area, called Tubals, Tabels, Tiberenoi in Greek, and Meshechs, Meshechs and or Mosoks, Moskoi in Greek, who they claimed represented ancient pre-Indo-European and non-Semitic, possibly, Proto-Iberian, tribes of Asia Minor of the 3rd to 1st millennia BC. This theory influenced the use of the term Japhetic in the linguistic theories of Nikolai Marr. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the biblical statement attributed to Noah that God shall enlarge Japheth, Genesis 9:27, was used by some preachers as a justification for the enlargement of European territories through imperialism, which they interpreted as part of God's plan for the world. The subjugation of Africans was similarly justified by the curse of Ham. Okay, so before we go, I want to point out one last thing mentioned earlier on in this video where it states, and I quote, identified by Flavius Josephus with the Cappadocian, Mosachini, Mushki, also associated with Phrygians or Bryges, so again I thought it only right to include some information also about Mushki. The Mushki, sometimes transliterated as Muski, were an Iron Age people of Anatolia who appear in sources from Assyria but not from the Hittites. Several authors have connected them with the Moskoi of Greek sources and the Georgian tribe of the Meski. Josephus Flavius identified the Moskoi with the biblical Meshech. 2 different groups are called Muski in Assyrian sources, Diakonov 1984:115, one from the 12th to the 9th centuries BCE near the confluence of the Arsanias and the Euphrates, Eastern Mushki, and the other from the 8th to the 7th centuries BCE in Cappadocia and Cilicia, Western Mushki. Assyrian sources clearly identify the Western Mushki with the Phrygians, but later Greek sources then distinguish between the Phrygians and the Moskoi. Identification of the Eastern Mushki with the Western Mushki is uncertain, but it is possible that at least some of the Eastern Mushki migrated to Cilicia in the 10th to the 8th centuries BCE. Although almost nothing is known about what language the Eastern or Western Mushki spoke, they have been variously identified as being speakers of a Phrygian, Armenian, Anatolian, or Georgian language. Okay, and that's it for today. Have a great day, and be safe. If you enjoyed this video, please think about subscribing, as well as hitting the like and sharing would help out a lot. Thank you all, peace out, people.